Oliver King and Evan Ballo. I'm joined once again by Dylan Magica. Welcome,
Hello.
Dylan. Yeah, SCG testing. Okay, the match has started. See what
Looks
Oliver's
like we're
on.
starting with modern.
Yep. Oliver was 4-color Death Shadow last season. See if he's stuck with that this season or changed. And Evan is a hardcore Tron fan. Convinced me to play Tron at SCG Philadelphia. I was on his
How
team.
how did that go for you?
I finished 4-3-2. It was okay, but I think next
You
time
got
I'll...
draws with Tron?
Oh, no, because you get a draw if your other two teammates, say if they both win or both lose. It's as soon as a team finishes 2-0, then you stop playing. So the draws were when I just ran out of time. I didn't finish the game.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah. Like I never done like a high level team event, so I wasn't entirely sure how that worked. But
Yeah,
that makes total sense.
there's no such thing as a 2-1 finish. It's all 2-0s. So you can be working your backside off into game 3, but then your two teammates lose and it doesn't matter. Stop playing.
I'm gonna be interested to see if I forgot his name now. I
Oliver
wrote
or
it down
Evan?
somewhere. Oliver, sorry, Oliver is playing like the Death Shadow list from the Pro Tour.
Well, I suspect he's actually because he hasn't had time to play properly and prep properly. I think he's probably just playing his old deck from last
Yeah,
season.
which based on what I see, it's not that different from the list from the Pro Tour. Like the Pro Tour just brought back the traditional Jund-ish Death Shadow decks, like with Tarmogoyfs and stuff.
The only big question here for Evan, is he on green black Tron or some other variation?
I would assume it's green black.
Yeah, he's a big fan of green black. I played green red. He tried to convince me to play green black, but I didn't go that far. He's probably played Oliver quite a few times. I don't know what his success rate is like against Oliver in the league.
Tron is online for Evan. This Relic's gonna be real good too.
Is there any delve threats? Oh, it's going to shut off Tarmogoyf.
Yes, it's Tarmogoyf, and it's gonna get rid of like
Lingering,
Fuel.
lingering souls. There's a Liliana. So, I don't know if the older lists played Liliana. I think that's more of a newer adaptation.
I think they played one, like one in the main, one in the side, probably.
Just look at Evan's hand. He's got... Oh, he does have Khan, of course. Or a Wormcoil
Yes,
engine.
yeah. I think Oliver is just dead to this Karn,
Yeah,
which is usually what happens. To be fair.
I think this matchup heavily favours Tron. In my testing, I think I was about 9-0. I didn't lose any matches to Death Shadow, and at the actual event, I beat Death Shadow as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good game one. It depends on how much the Death Shadow player hates Tron.
Well, it's
in the post board games.
Yeah, it's because you have things like Wormcoil is incredibly difficult for them to deal with, and also, as you mentioned before, there's just an inevitability about Tron. Like, I had a guy, like one of the ones that I beat with Tron, he had all the answers in his hand, multiple Death Shadows and multiple Tarmogoyfs, but I just had an Ugin, and that was just game over.
Yeah.
Just -1, -1, -2, and there's 3 threats, and because he couldn't run out more than 1 threat a turn, because otherwise there'd be exiling multiple threats. Meanwhile, I'm topping Khans and so on.
Yeah. I've been testing a lot of the Mardu Pyromancer deck, actually before the Pro Tour. Like I've been testing this deck, and yeah, like I've noticed against Tron, like you can hit them with so many discard spells, hit all their tutors. You have to kill them before they find Tron. Like they find Tron usually pretty quickly, or like they just hit land drops and just cast a Wormcoil engine, and then you can't do anything after that, really. Like that's
Because
the problem.
did Jerry Thompson's list play play? It didn't play Path to Exile, did it?
No. Um, like in those kind of decks, you don't want to play a Path to Exile because you're all about denying resources, and like you just let your opponent get a land drop. Like,
Here's make the robot noise. Tron online.
yeah, like they just get their turns faster that way. And then like also, Jerry was also playing 2 Blood Moons in his deck, so like he really doesn't want to have the Path in Exile like with a Blood Moon in play.
Yeah. So what are you doing if Khan here?
I would hit the.
We still don't know if it's green black or straight up green.
Probably hit the green source, the green black source. I guess you could tick up.
Yeah, I think you could just tick up here.
Start exiling hand.
Yeah, he's going to tick up. Fatal Push, I'm guessing, can get rid of that.
Lingering Souls also is not very good. This Liliana's also not very good.
Yeah, and that's a pretty quick concession. Yeah,
well,
Oliver's the. I mean, and he hasn't actually won the league at all. He's always there or thereabouts, but he's got a bit of a reputation as the kind of like the end boss. If you wanna win the league, you got to go through Oliver, because he's always first or second every season. And I think in his seasons that he has played, he always starts on fire. Like he'll win 6 or 7 rounds in a row before he drops anything. But the problem is then he seems to drop them quite badly.
Yeah. Also, I've learned playing against Tron a lot. Like I played against Tron a lot. Like I play Magic Online a fair bit, and Tron is everywhere on Magic Online. Blood Moon doesn't actually kill them. Like you have to have a clock to go with your Blood Moon, or you just lose to like an Oblivion Stone, just exiling the Blood Moon, or or like hitting the Blood Moon, or like you just lose the Worm Coils on the spot.
Yeah, even in my testing and playing, I just really didn't care when I saw a Blood Moon come down. It's like, obviously I bring a Nature's Claim from the sideboard, and if you got it, it's like great, but if you don't, as you say, you've got 3 Oblivion Stones, you've got Khans that can come down, you can hard cast your Worm Coils.
Yeah, like you can just
Okay, they're back in now.
Cast a Worm Coil and win on the spot, basically.
I think he's going to keep that for the Tron player, because the other factor as well is that a lot of the decks that play Blood Moon are just not fast enough. They tend to be Kiki combo, or the only one that was really, really, really bad that you play is the Blue-Red Breach.
Yes,
that's really tough.
And that's why I tested that version, because I really did not like playing against Tron, so I just wanted to kill him turn 5 or whatever, turn 4, turn 5.
And the irony is that at the Philadelphia event, I just could not beat Blue-Red Breach in my testing. It was just a terrible matchup. And in my matchup notes that I sent to Evan, I basically, telling him how I'd sideboard and so on, I basically said if they play Blue-Red Breach, just scoop. You can't win that match. But it's one of the matches that I won. I only played it once, and I beat it at SCG Philadelphia. And the only way I could beat it was because I resolved an Oblivion Stone, and my opponent was just desperately trying to get me to crack it, but I just would not crack it. I just would not crack it because I thought it was my only way of getting rid of Emrakul. And eventually,
what would you take here with this Thoughtseize?
I would. Let's pull this out. I think I would take the Oblivion Stone or a Worm Coil. I'd probably take the Worm Coil because he doesn't have any threats.
I would honestly consider taking this relic. Like, it's really low impact.
Yeah, he did. He took the relic.
but like it can keep him off of Tron. Um, like it leaves him fuel for these traverses to find threats because he already has 3 card types in the graveyard. It's not hard to get the 4th.
Yeah, we just look at Oliver's at the top. He's got creature, land, and sorcery. Can't get anything else this turn. Needs instant. I don't know what instant he's going to play here.
I think he's just gonna find a land with 1.
He needs a white source probably for the lingering souls. But once he sees that second Tron piece come down, there's probably going to be a bit of panic.
I don't think these decks play a basic plane, so he can't get a white source with it. He would have to get the white source with the foothills.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. You have to go to sleep now. Yes, it's 10 o'clock. Okay, go and hop into bed, please. I'm coming shortly.
Mommy, off the TV. I don't like mommy.
Go on, go.
No.
I don't know, I'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah, that's all good. I assume this Thoughtseize takes this Worm Coil because there's 2 Oblivion Stones in hand now.
Okay, I'm back.
So, Evan, or Oliver cast the Thoughtseize. He took the Worm Coil because he saw there was 2 of Oblivion Stones now, and Evan top deck an Expedition map.
And you can see the expedition map, so he doesn't have a threat. Another expedition map. But this is kind of the problem with Tron for opponents, is that he's at 20 life and he's got nothing, but he cracked this expedition, get the Tron piece, crack the other expedition, get another Tron piece. He's got 10 mana. He can just top deck an Ugin or an Ulamog, and then it's finished.
I would have actually held the Expedition map there because Oliver already cast a 2 Thoughtseize. It's unlikely he has a 3rd one, and you don't want it to get it tagged by a Kolaghan's Command. Of course, that doesn't matter when you're just going to draw another Expedition map, but something to keep in mind.
Liliana here's.
It's fine.
Which, still doesn't have
Delirium.
Delirium, yeah.
Like if he could get a Death Shadow this turn, like that'd be almost a 2-turn clock right there.
Or Mishra's Bauble to get the card draw and the Delirium.
This Liliana might actually do some work, like assuming Evan draws nothing. Like he would be forced to play this of the Oblivion Stone and crack it.
But you can see here, he's just going to get... if he just gets, say, Ugin off the top, it's boom, game over straight away.
Yes.
Why did he say no? Oh, I mean, even Oblivion Stone, you can just crack it next turn. Play it and crack it, and Liliana and the spirits are gone. See what he draws for the turn. Yep. and he's got another one in reserve.
Yeah.
Against 1 card, which is a traverse. Although this is going to get Liliana in the grave, so you can actually traverse here and get the Death Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for him, though, he doesn't know about the other Oblivion Stone.
If he draws a land, he could consider getting some of these lists play a Ranger VOs, which he knows about the second Oblivion Stone, so he could traverse for a land and then get Ranger VOs. But I guess it doesn't matter. Like, you can just traverse for two Death Shadows instead of Ranger VOsing for 2 Death Shadows, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you just run that out and then pass the turn. Wait till that dies, just to test the waters.
Yeah, like, you gotta cross your fingers, hope no Tron or Karn or Ugin comes down and just wrecks your day.
Upkeep crack of the...
Trying to thin the deck a little bit. You gotta get those percentage points.
Oh, that's Ominous Sanctum. Oh, that Pithy Needle. Why would he bring that in? Liliana?
Mistress Bubble, Liliana, Fulminator Mage is a big one too.
Ah, yes, that'll be why he would have brought it in for Fulminator Mage. Yeah, so I think he runs out the Oblivion Stone here, because he'd be a bit wary of Battle Rage.
Since he done it this way, I guess he still has a land drop, so he can play and crack. I initially thought he couldn't play and crack it, but I think you just take this hit from the Death Shadow. Like, it's not going to kill you. And Oliver can't overextend into it, or he just gets blown out by the Oblivion, so that's on the table.
Because I wonder if he would... Yeah, I was going to say, if he would crack it here, he'd take the 8. I think he'd take the 8.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Oh, they switched the order of the buttons?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. I guess I didn't realize that at first.
Yeah, that's the one we were calling the bug in the previous match.
Yeah, like, I never actually used attack all, so I guess I never noticed.
Yeah, it seems a bit ridiculous to do so. Oh, he's going to crack it now.
Interesting.
So now he can traverse for the... What's his second card that he found? Let's just have a look. Abrupt Decay.
You can just get another Death Shadow.
Yep, a little bit slow for that Abrupt Decay now. So now it's top deck mode for the Tron player, but unfortunately Tron's got tons of top deck options. One of those...
Swag Tusk.
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, he loves it. This is his favorite card.
Oh, I can see why, because, like, Oliver can't attack now, or he just dies to the Thragtus.
And up to 20... Here we go. We're going to see what he's going to name. Fulminator Mage. Because he's still susceptible. 2, 4, 5. He's got 5 lands. Oh, no, he names Liliana.
I don't think a single Fulminator is going to...
Yeah, he's got too many lands now. Well, there's a Fulminator right there. But he's going to get 2, 4, 5. Cut him down to 5 lands.
He might have been thinking that, hey, like, he just used two diverses for Death Shadow. He can't find a Fulminator Mage, and Liliana completely destroys me by getting rid of the Thragtus. That's
a good point. I think he would attack here. I would swing. Okay, Fulminator Mage to cut him off.
He can't swing, or else he's dead to the Thragtus. Like that would force his hand on the Fulminator.
Yeah, he could have swung and then played Fulminator and then blocked for Fulminator and in response sacked Fulminator for...
Yeah, but that doesn't get rid of Tron. Like, he can just play whatever, which he draws a Tron piece just fine.
Wait, what did I miss there?
He destroyed a tower.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Evan just threw a tower off the top.
Yeah, and Oliver says, "I'm okay." I think
that is why you never hit the tower. Like, you just hit all the other lands because they always either have another tower or they draw another tower.
Yeah, but that's rule 101 of Tron. That they always draw the piece that you took.
But anyways, the line you were talking about, if he swings with the Death Shadow and then plays Fulminator,
Yeah, I see. Because it wouldn't work because it would
yeah, because like on his main phase he can just cast a Karn or an Ugin or something.
So see what he draws for turn. But you can just see the problem here with going against Tron. It's just inevitable. Like, we're just waiting. When's the big bomb gonna hit?
Redraws.
Yeah, these cantrips just let you cycle through twice as fast. He's got so much mana. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. With a Sanctum.
That's pretty good. Stirrings.
If he can't find something here, I would be amazed.
So, this might be a hot take or a wild opinion. I don't see why Ponder needs to be banned when Ancient Stirrings is legal in Modern. Like,
yeah, well,
like Ancient Stirrings is just so efficient that
you see here, Sanctum's going to get probably Ulamog, and this one's
Yep.
over. Yeah, actually, I've noticed in chatter around Reddit and so on today, people are starting to say, "What about banning Ancient Stirrings?" Yep, there's Ulamog, so it's kind of thought seize or bust here for Oliver.
yeah, like banning Ancient Stirrings would not kill Tron. It would not kill Lantern. It would just set him back quite a bit. Like, Ancient Stirrings is just so efficient that, like, it glues all these decks together.
Khan takes Abrupt. Okay, so he's thought seize or bust right here. Inquisition. Close but not close enough. So, Evan is going to take Modern 2 games to 0.
It's looking that way.
Terrible matchup for Death Shadow. And 25 life. Yep, and he concedes. So 2 games to 0 in Modern. Very tough matchup. We're going to cross to Legacy now.
So it's gonna go Modern, Legacy, Standard.
They've already played this Standard.
Oh, okay.
Oliver took down Standard 2 games to 1.
Okay, I see. Gotcha.
So it should be a pretty quick Legacy match. Yeah, I don't know who NBC fan and Zolitris is. NBC, I don't know what NBC is.
Mono Black Control fan.
Yeah,
Mono Blue Control fan. We got some more SCG testing going for Legacy now.
Traditionally, Oliver always plays Elves in Legacy. He did change for the team event to play the white deck. Is it some sort of prison? Death and Taxes?
Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes.
Yeah, so against, I believe Evan is going to be on Red Black Tron. Red Black Reanimator.
That seems like a bad matchup on paper for Elves.
Terrible matchup for Elves. Against Death and Taxes, I think he would. The problem is against Reanimator and Death and Taxes, he'll want to get out not Liliana. What's the other girl?
You want Thalia,
Thalia.
You want Containment Priest.
That's what I'm trying to think of.
You
Thalia.
want all the things. Like, Containment Priest is pretty good.
Who won the toss? Oliver. Okay, that's...
There's a random Bayou in there, but yeah, it's Reanimator.
Okay, Caracas is a good one if he's going to get... Okay, he can go off turn 1 here.
but there's a Caracas in play, so I don't know if he necessarily wants to do that.
Well, Caracas can hit the Grizzlebrand.
It can hit. Is there any non-legendaries? I guess Sire of Insanity
Yeah,
isn't
Sire of
legendary.
Insanity and Chancellor of the Annex, and the other slot is kind of flexible these days. Most people will play Tidespout Tyrant.
In the Black-Red Reanimator list,
Yeah,
like they play Tidespout Tyrant too? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that.
So the Lotus Petal will bounce the Caracas. I'd be inclined to still get Grizzlebrand here,
Yes.
just for the card draw,
Yeah, you can refuel.
because you've got the Reanimate, so you can get your second spell. Possibly even get. He might play Iona in the main deck and just name white. But he needs to get around a Caracas somehow. So he needs a non-legendary.
You could just get a Chancellor and just win off the back of that because it'd be really hard for, like it's really hard to cast spells through it.
Yeah, just check Oliver's hand. He does have the Swords to Plowshares and a Rishadan Port, so he would have that covered. He gets Grizzlebrand, yep. Or Reanimate. Okay. Gonna cost him 7 life to get back that Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, like if he had another black card, he could unmask to hit the swords.
He will do now.
That's a lot of unmasked. All 4.
But no other threats. A Chancellor there. Has he got some way to... He can't go down anymore, so he's in a bit of an awkward position now. Zolitris has jumped in to check out our game as well. He's only got 1 Lotus Petal. I think he's going to be tempted to use this for the Faithless leading.
I wonder. I think if he had a Tidespell Tyrant in his deck, I think he would have got it because he can bounce the Mother Runes. Like he can basically bounce any creature.
Yes, sideboard he'll bring in. I mean, my deck I'd play Inkwell Leviathan, Grave Titan, so non-legendary creatures.
Inkwell seems really good against the Swords of Plowshares deck.
Yeah, and it's also awesome against lands because Caracas can't get it because it's got Shroud. So he's gonna.
Is it also indestructible? Does it block Mirror Lage?
No, it does, and it doesn't
It's
have flying.
Shroud, Island Walk.
You
What's the other? Like, isn't it 3 abilities on Inkwell?
I think that's it. Shroud and Island Walk. A 7/11.
Island Walk, Trample, Shroud. This list I'm looking at, this Reanimator I'm looking at, plays an archetype of Endurance in the sideboard, which gives everything hexproof, gives all creatures hexproof.
Oh.
So that'd be nice.
It splashes green to get for enchantment removal. What's that card that you said? Archetype of Endurance.
Yep.
Let me just have a look at that.
I don't know if that's common. I don't know much about these Reanimator lists, but I'm sure you can have a toolbox where you basically pick what you want to have.
Yeah, there's not too much. How do you spell archetype?
ARCHE and then type.
Oh, archetype.
Like Arch E type.
Yeah. Archetype Endurance. Yeah, there's only a couple of slots that are really flexible, and that are really fixed. And one thing I noticed with more recent lists, they've dropped the 4th Grizzlebrand. They go down to 3. And I was talking to Evan about this recently. So he bounces Grizzlebrand. They don't actually really need 3. You could probably go to 2 Grizzlebrands. Evan's a bit out of gas now. He can recast the Faithless Looting here. But he needs to do something about that Rishid and that Caracas. And because he's only at 3 life, he can't get the card draw from Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, he could bring back a Chancellor of the Annex, which blocks pretty much everything out of the Death and Taxes deck. And at some point, he can bring back an Elish Norn just to wipe the board. Like, you don't have to attack with it.
Yeah, Elish Norn is normally in the sideboard these days.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't see it there, no. Yeah, that's why, especially if Oliver was on his elves, that would just be an instant win, that one. Yeah, there's generally the 3 of them are Tidespout, Tyrant, Iona, and Elish Norn. People tend to rotate them around, like different ones appear in the main list at different times.
Yeah, I've never been a Reanimator person, so I was never too sure.
What do you take here with this Unmask?
Well, you have to get rid of the swords at some point. The Mirren Crusader just kills you.
Yeah, he took the Crusader. I think he's just flat out dead anyway. I don't see how you can get out of this. I think I would have actually Dark Ritualed and recast my Faithless Looting at this point.
I think if he just would have got Chancellor instead of Grizzlebrand, this can be a whole lot different, because he can either attack for 5 or he can just sit back and block or force the Mother.
Yeah, he says the Grizzlebrand draw is the worst.
Yeah, to be fair, that is true. That was a pretty bad Grizzlebrand draw.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, that would have been my line. I would have still taken the Grizzlebrand like he did. I think he just fluffed on the draw. It's just incredibly unlucky. Because normally you would expect to be able to find some sort of spell to reanimate a second creature. And I think he's, Richard and Port's just going to tap him down here, so he's just dead. It'll tap that red source. So you can't flash back as, but he does have the, just switch hands. He does have the Dark Ritual in hand, but he can get back to Chancellor of the Annex. Okay, so Mother of Ruins is tapped out here. This will buy him a turn.
He can escalate it, gain 2 life, so he can take a hit from a Flicker Wisp, but I guess I just don't see how he comes back into this game at this point. Like, he's at 1 life. Well, he'll probably go up to 3 after this Collective Brutality, but
yeah, Recruiter of the Guard though will get him another creature, but if he wants to run out Recruiter, it means he can't keep tapping down the Badlands.
But he'll just need to deploy another threat before.
Swords to Plowshares is his own Mother of Ruins.
Just to gain a life, since it was going to get taken by the Collective Brutality anyway.
That's strict, tight magic there. Okay, what's he going to find here? Toughness 2.
I would assume Containment Priest if he has one in the main deck, but that seems highly suspect. So probably Sanctum Prelate. That's the Chalice of the Void one, right?
Yeah, the 3 mana
Yeah.
name a whatever and can't cast it.
Yeah, converted mana cost. Yeah, like you name a number, spells with that converted mana cost cannot or are countered. Like it's just like Chalice of the Void.
Yeah, so I think if he plays that names 2, then he just wins. Oh, Containment Priest in the main.
He does have a Containment Priest in the main. Okay.
I suspect that's probably a nod to Sneak and Show.
So
here's the flashback. Faithless Looting is the only play here.
I would have probably held that land.
Yep. Because he can't cast a 1 mana spell here.
Yeah.
And like, what does he? I think he has to get rid of that Entomb. Although he can actually keep the Entomb because he doesn't want Grizzlebrand.
He had to hope for like a Dark Ritual and an Exhume there to do anything.
There's no point firing this off because
he just gets 2 more cards in the graveyard. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean an Animate Dead, which would have been his draw for the turn next. I think this one's just gone now.
Yes. Now that the Containment Priest, like that turn off the looting, you would have to draw a Ritual Exhume and just pray that a Swords does not get drawn for the Chancellor of the Annex.
Up to 4 life, so you can actually run out a Mother of Runes and keep the Containment Priest and Caracas. So this will knock Evan to 2.
I don't see how...
It's pulling the band-aid off slowly, but it's getting there. Okay, so now we've got lethal on board. And okay, so he's got Iona in the main deck. We're going to go to game 2 now.
So I assume these black-red Reanimator decks play like some kind of Pyroclasm effect, right?
No, they
actually don't.
They'll have Massacre.
Massacre, yeah, that makes sense.
Very good in this matchup.
Yeah. Although all these lists I'm looking at from Magic Online, none of them are playing Massacre.
Massacre's, if it appears, it's normally a 1-of in the sideboard, but they won't really play a Pyroclasm effect because the purpose of the deck is kind of to get into a winning position on turn 1. If you go into turn 2 and turn 3, you're probably in a losing position, and you try and get those advantages from your creatures. So, for example, rather than spending 2 mana to cast Pyroclasm, you spend 2 mana to reanimate Elish Norn and wipe the board that way.
Some of these lists are actually playing Pack Rats in the sideboard, which
yeah,
I like quite a bit. I like me some Pack Rats.
Yeah, I saw that online the other day actually. It was bizarre when I ran into it, but then when I did see it, I thought that's a really good idea. Something I might have to consider copying as well. Because currently, in the pretty standard lists, Grave Titan is about the only card you can realistically hard cast. But Pack Rat is very easy to hard cast if you get into that position.
And some of these lists are playing one of my favorite spells in Legacy, Stronghold Gambit, which nobody probably knows what that does off the top of their head. But
I have 2 of those in my sideboard.
Yeah.
It's good against the lands matchup.
Yes. It's also good against like Storm and whatever nonsense.
Yeah, I think I might actually have cut it to one of those because it's a bit too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so we saw at SCG Philadelphia, 50% of the field was some sort of a Delver variant.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's pretty sad in the face of Stronghold Gambit.
Yeah. So, what's Oliver going to bring in from his sideboard to battle the graveyard here? Is it Rest in Peace?
Probably more Containment Priest. Probably Rest in Peace.
Okay, they're back now. This one from Evan. I would be tempted. Yeah, I'd keep this. It's a turn 1.
So there is a Rest in Peace. There's also Fairy Macabre, which is going to completely wreck this turn 1 plan.
Yeah, this is going to be a blowout turn 1. That's an absolute 100% of the time keeper right there from Evan. But he's just going to get blown out here. Interesting that Oliver has both Rest in Peace and Fairy Macabre. That's pretty intense graveyard hate right there.
I assume there's some sort of split there.
And he's got the Containment Priest. He's got 3 of his ideal cards in his opening hand. So I think we're looking at a 2-0 sweep here.
I find it interesting. Yeah, like that is a lot of hate for this matchup. Especially in your opening hand, like that's just.
What's he gonna go for here? I'd be tempted to go for Iona actually.
Well, that just loses against a Caracas. That
just
loses against the swords.
If I don't get that, no swords he can't cast if you play that. He gets Inkwell Leviathan. Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, can't swords it.
Yeah. The only other one is Sigh of Stagnation. I'd be tempted to go that turn 1 as well. But again,
Inkwell seems fine, except
Fairy Macabre is the blowout.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah. Now, one spicy bit of sideboard tech that we discovered for this deck, I haven't seen any white cards from Evan. He's playing green. He's playing green as his 3rd color. I play white. There's a card called Pull from Eternity.
Yeah, like you pull a card from exile and you put it into your hand.
No, put it into your graveyard.
Oh, into your graveyard. Gotcha.
So that would be a good card here.
Why did Reverent Silence go? Oh, sure, like against Rest in Peace, sure.
Destroy all enchantments, yep.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason why people play splash green rather than white.
I don't know, I'd be curious to see some people splash for Ground Seal in some of these Reanimator decks. Like it's starting to get played more in Legacy. Like I got blown out by a Ground Seal because I couldn't activate my Deathrite Shaman at all. I was playing some Legacy earlier. I was playing some 4-color nonsense.
The only problem with Ground Seal, I mean, it gives you a card draw. There's a card in the new set that comes down on turn 1 that does the same thing. But the problem with Ground Seal for Reanimator is that it turns off a lot of your reanimation spells as well.
Yes, it does not turn off Exhume, though. But
yeah, I think Exhume is the only one you get left with.
Yes.
Well, very strange he attacks there with Mother of Ruins.
I mean...
Even stranger that he chose to Thoughtseize rather than Collective Brutality. That might be the only chance he's going to get rid of a Mother of Ruins.
I mean, he has 2 more in hand, so like it's not like the first one dying is going to matter. Like you want to get your damage in while you can.
I would have Collective Brutality then, and just to get that Mother of Ruins off, because now he's going to have the 1/2 lock. But he still has to deal with the Rest in Peace at some point. He says he's got no hate to deal with Rest in Peace.
What happened to the Reverent Silence?
It's in the exile for some reason.
Did he discard
he
it to a
he said he discarded it.
faithless
Oh, yeah, he discarded.
rip.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he saw the Fairy Macabre, so he thought that was the type of hate that he's up against.
That could be.
But surely, yeah, because I mean, I must admit, from as a Reanimator player myself, I was shocked to see the Fairy Macabre. But I think that would have been my line of thought if I saw it. Okay, so he's. Well, I would be thinking to myself, why the hell is he not playing Rest in Peace and playing Fairy Macabre? The split between the two seems very strange. But it does give you a number of different angles.
Yes.
You can see, he said he's got 2 Fairy Macabres and a Rest in Peace, as well as Containment Priest. He's got the works.
Sanctum Prelate 2, even though that's a bit slow, but that could be relevant.
But yeah, I don't see him. He's admitted he's got nothing for Rest in Peace, so unless he's playing Pack Rat, this one's over. Okay, so now he's got a Council's Judgment. That card amazes me, like this Council's Judgment. It just seems so lousy. I can't believe it gets legacy. Sees legacy play. It just probably shows you that white just doesn't have many options.
I mean, like the reason why it's played is because it kills True Name Nemesis on the spot. That's probably the only reason why it sees play over like Oblivion Ring or whatever. Because it kills True Name Nemesis.
Now we just have to have the beatdowns, 4 turns.
Yeah, the motley crew of dorks coming in.
Probably going to see the Rishidan Port now. Just he's not even going to bother. See what he's got. He's out of cards. Why does he tap down on the turn?
I found it interesting too, because if he drew a land, he could flat. Well, never mind. The Faithless Loot I'm looking at's in exile. I probably should close that before I say dumb things.
Yeah, okay, this is when I thought he would do it. Upkeep, tap the red.
Yeah.
There's a Tide Spout Tyrant.
All he needs now is a show and tell.
Actually, some of them splash blue for that. No,
yes.
But there's a concession. So Oliver takes Legacy in 2 games to 0, and that is my bedtime.
Mine as well.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, Dylan. And
yeah, no problem.
Thanks for watching.
Have to do this again sometime.
Yep, I'll see you later.